Welcome back, everyone. Today I bring you another ranked game on Hesse this time, and we are playing 7th Panzer once again. I mean I, because it's it doesn't really make sense to play this division. Let's be real, because like before this match, I had a match against 20th Panzerna, and it's like you're playing a mirror match, but your enemy has everything that you have, but just better. That's literally basically playing 7th. You could be playing a better version of it, a straight up better version, in almost every single way imaginable. But I don't know, I still have this old nostalgia about it, so I kind of wanted to try it out. When I tried it out, I played once again. And as I also said, it is still useful for tournaments, where you can ban a lot of the better T-72 divisions. Now Hesse, you know, I don't like the map because it's very stalematey. I know I don't like pretty much all the maps for some reason, but I mean, it's not my fault that every map, or almost every map, has some bullshit about it that makes it not fun. Like, even though in this case, you know, Hesse isn't really that unbalanced. The zones are a little bit unbalanced if you look like Nicholas is a lot closer to the front than Anna, and it's a lot easier to grind into because you have the city here, and for Anna you kind of just have the open field. You have the city to the sides, but I mean you also have the city to the sides at Nicholas. And then also I always feel that it's easier to get into Anna than it is to get into Leonid. But overall I would say that the disadvantages from like side to side aren't that immense. The problem is just that the map is so large and the zones are so far apart and worth so few points that the game becomes extremely stalematey. It's kind of, you were fighting here for 38 minutes, more or less. And yeah, I don't really like that a lot. By the way, we are at 199 subscribers, so still no cat pictures for you. one guy needs to subscribe and you will get the cat pictures, at least if nobody unsubscribes, so who knows. So if you're unlucky, one might not be enough, so maybe 2 of you should subscribe, maybe even 3. I mean, I'm giving you highest quality WARNO content, you know. You will not see a channel like mine with as many throws and bad RNG and bad decision making all combined into one epic person that is me. But yeah, it would be very cool. 200 subscribers would be nice, and you would get to see cute cats. Like, I mean, if you wouldn't want it. I sound a bit like a guy that wants to get people into a van right now, but I swear I just want to show you a picture. They are very cute. I love them very much. Yeah, but back to the game. Enough begging for subscribers. So 7th Panzer against I think I didn't even say against who you're up against. Passa la Vista playing Berlin Command. I know, big surprise if you don't know, but Passa la Vista basically literally just plays this one division, except for a few exceptions. So 7th against Berlin Command is like not a specifically bad or good matchup, but the thing is, just before this game I took out my fighter card because I rebuilt the deck a little bit. I wanted to try out the infantry AA guns that are so busted apparently. Well, not apparently, they are kind of overpowered in specific matchups. But I mean, obviously in this matchup it's actually not that great, because sure, they will help me grinding against his infantry, but they first of all won't help me against his heavy tanks. And second of all, not having fighters against the division with Nighthawks is like just giga pain. So this was already a good start for me to pretty much be hard countered because I took out the fighters. But hey, gotta work with it. So for the left-hand side, fairly light deployment with one Spezialaufklärer into the building here, because I realized that this building has actually a pretty good line of sight. Yeah, it's better than this one, because you still get a line of sight over here. One BRM1 to the far left side. Just, I didn't want him to drive foxes around me into my back. That would have been kind of annoying. Also, 1 VRDM conquerors into this forest patch, and 1 Meet You to scout what's going on. Because we remember that Skifix says kind of early rush the left side. And I know that Pasta well, watches Skifix guides and tutorials. So I wanted to be at least somewhat ready for it. Then 1 Spezialaufklärer into here. I guess it's a kind of redundant together with the BRM1 here, you might think. But the idea was for me to try to get an early advantage into this area and play fairly defensively on the right and then kind of push him out of here, because as I said, I always feel like attacking into this area here is easier for my side than it is for him attacking into Leonid. I didn't want to attack early onto the left because I thought that, you know, going into a city grind against Berlin Command would be super dumb, because that's like one of the few strengths this division actually has is the infantry that they have. And then you would say, well, why are you pushing into here where you will have to grind for this city? Look, as I said, I'm not the best and not the smartest, okay? And the game was played very late at night for me. I don't know where Pasta is from. I had another game recently where I also played against him at a similarly late time, so either he's a degenerate like me that stays up giga late, or I think he's just from not the same region as me, so for him it's like a more humane time to play at. But yeah, either way, so this is also why the BRM1 is coming up together with them to support them with the exceptional optics, and the push consists of 2 T-55As and 2 Mordschützen in the BMP1. I have a 1 Concourse, BRDM Concourse to back that up, Stratenham and Coop as well as some support. Modaufklärer going into this forest patch, Spezialaufklärer trying to get aggressively into here, Me-2 recon helicopter obviously, 1 Great Launcher as some support for Leonid, and then 1 Great Launcher and 1 Concourse for the right flank, and 1 command. So that was the plan. I wasn't sure whether the Spezialaufklärer would be able to get in here in time, because I know that he likes to start foxes early on to get early pressure going. In this case I see them, like, I don't know what I was doing, but I kind of just wasn't able to click on the Spezialaufklärer. I was just constantly misclicking. So here I unload, but it takes like a slight second too long, and of course the foxes hit, because why wouldn't they? So now obviously the Concourse won't be able to get into this building anymore. I mean, it could, but I know that my RNG will be complete garbage. The Great Launcher is kind of in a bad position as well. There's a Gizzard rocket on the left hand side that didn't do nothing, and it was completely on its own. The Spezialaufklärer won't do anything because the SVD has like very bad accuracy and damage. I still think that DMRs need to be reworked. Like, DMRs shouldn't be like suppression weapons, they should be precision weapons, but it doesn't do anything at all damage-wise. It does literally fuck all, but it suppresses the fuck out of everybody. I just personally think that's completely dumb. Here I tried to move the Aufklärer like into a relevant position here in the forest so they could side-shot the foxes, but unfortunately they get stuck by the PSSCB, which is a very, very good squad, by the way. They're insane for the damage output. There's another one in here, and look, they fire so fast that the T-55 wasn't even able to turn its front armor, and they both get side-shotted. Luckily though, it then gets stunned, and then it switches fire to the BMP-1, so the T-55s actually survive at least. But here the fight on the right hand side is going very badly. I pre-called in the Mi-24 to stop the foxes. Concourse does get one of the foxes, which was very nice. And yeah, well, the T-55s are both alive, but I can't push into here anymore because there's still the PSSCB there. Coop gets tonight the kill on the Harrier, by the way. Though I have killed 2 of the PSSCBs now, which is very, very good. Like, those are extremely strong. And you only the thing is, you only get 4 of them. Berlin Right Rifles, by the way, kill the T-55 with their lower 80. Pretty unfortunate that they hit the first shot. Yeah, pretty high range on those. Yeah, really have to watch out for that. Now, because he was foxes there, obviously I wasn't able to move the SPW around and capture the sector. But the thing is, he only started with 1 command, I guess. So he also hasn't captured his zones right now, so I'm actually ticking. Another PSSCB is already moving in here. See, Mistral is moving up and killing the Me-2, so I quickly retreat the Mi-24 so that it doesn't die instantly, because it would be very unfortunate. I retreated the T-55 a bit so that it could still fire support down the Berlin rifles without being shot at by the Apilas. Low 80, sorry, not Apilas. To actually win the fight. I mean, the double vet Motschützen are should be better anyway because they're also resolute. I know the T-55 in support did win, but I mean the push in the middle has completely failed. It was like catastrophic. While he is pretty much already in the sector here somewhere. Second B-24 is already on the field now. Because I know that there's also some tanks in here. I think that's a Chieftain Mark 10. Another BRM-1 coming up. But I will deploy it defensively just to have some recon support here because the Spezialaufklärer, they don't like the BRM can support the left hand side if it's like somewhere in here, for example, but the Spezialaufklärer can't support this area from the building here. They could from this building when they don't have any line of sight on the left hand side, so yeah, it's a bit weird. The SPW does get into the sector and captures it. I put it into the building here, but then the Foxes throw in from the right hand side because I left the right hand side completely open in the opener. Lol. So that was kind of to be expected that they would come around at some point, but unfortunately they sniped the command. But the second Mi-24 is still in the battle, does get a nice kill on the Fox. Here I completely forgot that the Motschützen with the SVD and the SVW were still aggressively routed into the sector. I did unload the Motschützen and the BMP-1s early, but yeah, those just straight up drove into the PSSEB. Though it's dead now as well, so I think it's only one of those left, or even none of them, I'm not sure. The Motschützen here were just wrecked by the Gazelles. They were also pretty much stranded in here. T-55 also died to something, I think. Yeah. Did call in a command at some point, by the way, as well, for the left-hand side to capture the zone. And yeah, now the Conquerors dies because there's like some recon in here that spots everything I have. T-72M is finally on the field, and at this range it should have a good fight against the Tow 2 Jeep if it wouldn't lose line of sight, but then this one got routed by something. I don't know why it went invisible. Why was it routed? Okay, that's weird. PRM-1 to get rid of the Foxes here. Mi-24s are being reloaded and repaired, but because I needed to reload and repair both of them, actually one supply wasn't enough. I'm pretty sure I reworked the deck to only have 2 cars of supply. That's a bit... I don't like only having 2 cars of supply because I like using a lot of supply, because I also like using artillery a lot. But then I thought that I rarely actually use all 3 cards of supplies, even in 40-minute games. Like, I could survive with only 2 cards, and I think this is pretty much the thing you have to do. Here, by the way, I get a very bad side shot by like a Milan 2 or something in there. But it's kind of what you have to do with 7th Panzer to even make it somewhat competitive, sorry. Because as I said, with everything else, you're just literally worse than all the other T-72 divisions, so you need to do something. Get a hit or a kill on the final Fox. He might have 1 left in here, but not sure. So yeah, at least something going for me. BMP-1s are, yeah, they're here without any recon, so that's obviously not good because they don't see anything. Spezialaufklärer are on their way though. AMX 30 gets caught in the open. Yeah, gets a nice side shot from the Mi-24. It was a Humvee tow actually. So it's pretty surprising that the T-72M here didn't die. I guess it was a frontal penetration then. Because I mean a tow to the side would 100% kill a T-72, yeah. 100%. Getting a grenade launcher here for some anti-infantry support, which was a very good idea because just in time some light rifles start pushing in. Caught it in the T-72M1 here. Pretty expensive defensive tool, but I was expecting some push coming in this area, and well, I was right. But the light rifles here moving over the open, not the best choice. There's an M1 coming in. Quickly smoke off the T-72, then also smoke off the BRM. So that they don't die. And quickly call in 2 MiG-21s to bomb away at the light rifles, get 2 nice kills, and the MiG-21s go out. So overall, pretty good. Obviously M1 still alive, but without the infantry, he's pretty much just dead in the water, more or less. T-72 spots the AMX 30. Oh, gets a nice hit actually. Now the SPW should finish it off. It misses, of course. But the T-72 actually gets a second hit. Wow. Incredible. And yeah, those light rifle RCOs are giga annoying. Because, well, the light rifles are very good fire support in infantry fights. And they can also be annoying against tanks or IFVs. They don't do a lot, but they just stress you, in the sense that they don't do a lot of damage even if they hit you, but they do stress you out. On top of like the other stress damage you will get. MiG-21 coming in again, though honestly should have targeted this light rifles because this one was already pretty much dead anyway. I mean, do finish it off in the end, I guess. And then obviously get double hit by his manpads. Bruh. But you get a bailout and return to the M1 IP, so I guess RNG wasn't a cruel mistress in this case. Or it was a cruel mistress to both of us equally, depending on how you look at it. Because like, yeah. The bailout bug is still in the game, so if you don't know, if your tanks get critted, you can't repair them. Maybe there are some crits that you can repair. I can't remember if the track broken, for example, also cucks you for the rest of the game, or not. But like with the bailout or engine destroyed, for example, you will not be able to get rid of the crit. Or technically you will be, it won't show up anymore, but your tank just won't be able to move, and it won't be unbailed out anymore. And yeah, unfortunately there was no bug fix for this, and at this point I'm like 99% sure that we won't get a bug fix for this anymore until the release of Southpack. Which is very sad, but I mean, I love Eugen for their games, because they're just amazing and like the only ones on the market. But they really need to work on their like development pipeline. Like this is just unacceptable in the 21st century that like there's just no bug fixes for something like that, because like yeah, you have to wait for the next big update because we don't have like several branches we can work on. There's always just one developer branch. Like, what the actual fuck, man. And this is not even the worst, by the way. There's still this bug that affects a lot of people, that the game just fucking crashes all the time. I'm very happy that this wasn't happening for me at all. Since the last update. But there are quite a few people that are affected by that, and as you can imagine, that is giga annoying if your game just crashes all the time. And there's nothing you can do against it. Like, they really need to fix that. Or should have been fixing that as soon as possible, and yeah, there's still no fix for that. But anyway, just to be clear, like, I like their games. I think Eugen is doing like a good job overall, but there's just this few things that would make the game infinitely better, and they really need to like get their shit together. Now there's an ATGM here. Now, why do I not see it? Because my Spezialaufklärer is here, and the ATGM, well, obviously I watch the replay, so I know, it's like right in here. So, from my Spezialaufklärer's point of view, it should be seeing it. But if you look at the line of sight of the ATGM, it doesn't see the Spezialaufklärer, so it's actually invisible to me, and it snipes two of my tanks. Please just rework the forest line of sights. This is insanely dumb. Why? I have a Spezialaufklärer right in front of them. But because it's like one tree too far back, I can't see it. It's literally invisible to me. Bro. So yeah, losing two of my tanks basically completely stops this whole push here. I will try to get the Modschützen over into this area, but I mean, with the M1 IP and the Chieftain back there as fire support, obviously there's no way for me to get in. Getting in some of the ZSUs now finally, because I was still seeing more infantry getting into this area, and I really didn't want him to overwhelm me. I only have one grenade launcher here that could, you know, get bombed, for example, very quickly. So having some redundancy here will be very good. T-55, I think, manages to escape here. Yeah, I have another recon squad here now. Montaufklärer should hopefully be able to spot something once the ATGM fires again. Artillery is in the game now, though only one howitzer for me at this point in time. Here I knew that I wouldn't be able to kill his tanks. I just kind of tried to suppress him, that he wouldn't be able to repair his tanks, so that he couldn't use his advantage of killing two of my tanks here and push in, because that would have been really annoying. Do I have control over this area still though, so he hasn't really pushed me back yet. And considering that I'm still at the point lead, not enough to win, but still at some point lead, that's pretty good for Hesse, where, as I said, you will just never get any points at all. Getting us in, like swarming me with his Gazelle rockets on the BRM-1. Does get actually a pretty nice hit here. I don't know whether this was a crit or they just generally do that much damage. Because normally Gazelle rockets don't do fuck all against even like lightly armored vehicles, but in this case he does kill the BRM-1, really annoying. Do finally spot the Milan 2 after like the Modschützen have come up to like literally knife fighting range. Like, whatever. I know that some people are still coping with, oh my god, recon is so brokenly overpowered. Like, look at this. It's literally in like shooting range. I had to get into shooting range until I was able to even see the Milan. Bruh. I mean, sure, it's not exceptional optics, but it's very good optics. It's still like the second highest optics in the whole game. And exceptional optics obviously should be an exception, because it's, well, exceptional and not the standard. Well, whatever. I get sighted here from a tank that, again, I can't see because it's like 5 trees too far in the back. T-72 does finally find the sniper that was sitting here and being annoying, spotting my shit. And now T-72s here are trying to get some fights going, but unfortunately this T-72 is stuck on the infantry there, so wasn't able to partake in the fight. T-55 gets targeted down by the enemy tanks because it was a little bit too far forward, so the smoke from T-72 didn't cover the T-55 as well. That was a micro mistake by me, so there was an SAK here as well, so a lot of recon from Pasta, which, I mean, makes sense because that's a strong point of the division. Now trying to get my airspan going. Don't have the seat up because, well, Berlin doesn't have any seatable AA. Here, by the way, big mistake by me, I just clicked them in before all of them were ready at the same time. So like the MiG-23 goes in first, and then the MiG-21s, and then the AT planes, so that was really not that good. Also don't think the MiG-23 did get anything too valuable, it obviously also instantly got double tapped, because 30% ECM doesn't matter. AT plane comes in, isn't able to align with the tank, gets hit once and gets hit twice by the manpads again. So absolutely horrible, like not well done by me, absolutely garbage RNG once again. Funnily enough, the MiG-21s with 10% ECM survive and both the 30% ECM planes die. Like, I just don't know why all this always happens to me. That like and especially because why do the 10% ECM planes survive, but the 30% ECM planes just all fucking die? Like, come on, man. Nighthawk coming in, but again, nothing I can do against that because I don't have any fighters. Buying in a coup now though, because I mean that's. Yeah, that is something I can do against the Nighthawk, but the problem is that radar array needs to be really close to the Nighthawk to spot it. Luckily though, he like only kills 2 mod Schützen, which kind of makes sense, because I don't have like a lot of, like, I have decent amounts of infantry, but obviously much less than he has. So in this sense, it is not the worst decision by him to get rid of the infantry and make it not possible for me to grind against his infantry, but the problem is that this is not, like, this map is like a grind map on the left, infantry grind map on the left, but on the right hand side, not really. So if I lose a lot of my infantry, I can still, like, push him with vehicles on the right hand side. Still only 1 howitzer up because I was just constantly struggling on the front line. I just never was able to really stabilize or push in, or if I was pushing in and just everything went wrong, line of sights were fucking dumb, I wasn't seeing anything, I was being killed by invisible stuff, mismicroing my shit, and yeah, so just horrible experience overall, so that's why I wasn't able to buy a second howitzer until now. I finally do. Tried to counter battery his mortars with 1 howitzer, I thought that maybe this would be enough. Instantly starts moving his mortar though after like 1 barrage, which makes a lot of sense. I guess he might also just know that I like to counter battery mortars, because that's also a good idea, a good thing to do. Harrier HE does bomb the 23mm here, but dies in return, so really not a worthwhile trade. This one vets up, funnily enough, because I got a lot of hits on the Harrier because it just flew directly over it. And I guess against the Harriers, those are actually decent because the Harriers are so slow and fly very low. So yeah, did actually get a lot of value. Now the RCLs are moving in, but the thing is, because they're heat, like, they don't do more damage the closer they are. So here actually I'm just taking the fight. And well, to be fair, I think all the AT launchers are heat, but the thing is, like, dedicated AT launchers obviously have more armor penetration mostly. And yeah, well, he just smoked his way in, which, I mean, I can't really call it smokes coming, because what the fuck else are you supposed to do on this map? Like, I also do it, because, like, there's just nothing else to do. All the zones are so giga far away that at some point you just have to smoke and get in and hope for the best. And, well, either you have the positions here as well, which will help you, but even then you mostly have to smoke off. Because there's so many positions in the back for me where I could also have, like, more ATGMs and vehicles and whatever. But the problem now is obviously that he is at a +2, and this is really bad for me, because overall I haven't been trading very well. It's like fine, but not very good. Obviously, late game I will be better than him, but I also haven't killed a lot of heavy tanks. My air spam didn't work at all. Like, it literally just completely collapsed because of, like, what, 2 manpads? Because fun. Epic duel of historic... bro, what the fuck? I can't remember any words right now. Historic proportions, that's the word I was looking for. But the BRM was barely able to kill the Berlin Light Rifles, or Berlin Rifles. And here, luckily, he just flew his Nighthawk right over my coop. So I spotted it and instantly killed it, so I don't know what he was doing there. I guess he was trying to kill the T-72 and was still hoping that I wouldn't have had AA up here, but, well, first of all, I did. And second of all, somehow the T-72M didn't die. I'm not sure whether this is just unlucky by him, or whether the Nighthawk doesn't one-shot tanks, or not always, I'm not sure. Maybe the bomb also landed slightly after it died, I don't know. But this was just very weird. I mean, I was happy for it, because, I mean, my stuff didn't die, but overall still just weird. Goes in for a bombing run with the Mirage, but I mean, there's like literally 1 Igla, so it's not very worth it. Well, it is obviously worth it. Just like all my AA decides to literally do fuck all and miss. MiG-24 here is actually vetted up. I don't even know why. It hasn't killed anything particularly expensive, I think. Why did it stop his ATGM here? What the fuck? God, dude, the fucking target priority is just killing me, man. It had a clear line of sight. Nothing was blocking it, and it just stopped 5 meters before it would have impacted. My fucking god, man. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, not coping about target priority. I've done it in one of the recent games already. But they really need to rework that ASAP as well. Like, this is just fucking dumb. Also, by the way, one of the reasons why blobs are so strong. Because in the blob, you just have a high chance of enemy ATGMs just doing nothing because they will retarget every 5 seconds. And this is just, like, not fun or interesting or anything. Here, by the way, insane Division 2 micro. ATGM was flying for like half an hour, but I was too busy targeting artillery that I smoked too late. Luckily, though, the T-72 has good armor, so it did actually survive the frontal hit, but is now very low. I think those were some tanks here, so didn't kill anything, but forced him to retreat at least. And yeah, what 2 hours is up now should be good enough to keep him down and even kill some tanks. I mean, those are 152 mils, so still not the greatest against tanks, but if you have 2 of them and corrected shot, you have a decent chance. But obviously, M110s all the way. Going in for a bombing run on the Berlin Light Rifles. Berlin Rifles. There's an important difference because the Light Rifles are the one with the RCL and the Rifles are the one with the low 80. And again, look at this. Like, why the 10% ECM MiG-21 just dodges fucking everything. But the 30% MiG-23 and the Su-22 just get fucking wrecked the instant they go anywhere. What the fuck, man? Oh my god. What the hell is this? I guess I will only buy MiG-21s for the rest of my life, because apparently all the expensive planes just die. And well, I have recaptured the zone, but I know that he will now try to push in once again from here, because I saw a command tank going into the forest patch. Kind of nothing I can do against it at this point in time. Everything I have here is super damaged or out of ammo. And he's already winning, by the way. He's almost 200 points ahead. And on Hesse, that is quite a lot. Even if you like push your enemy back late game, as long as you just not completely wipe him off the map, it's actually pretty hard to get a tick that's over +2, in my opinion. Because getting one zone is already like giga pain. Even look at him, like he has been playing a very good game, and he's barely able to even hold one zone for longer than like 2 minutes. Like, this is man. Today is a really a cope episode. Though in this case I was coping actually for him. Nah, I was coping for myself as well. Let's not kid ourselves. Trying to get some armor push going here. Strelatin M does get rid of the stupid links. It's not stupid, but it was really annoying, let's put it like that. did get 2 for 2, I think, so if he gets... Yeah, this does get 4 hits after one hit, 4 hits after another. Can you say it like that? Well, 4 consecutive hits, let's put it like that. Another bailout. Lol. You know, in this case, I mean, it wasn't going particularly well for him anyway. And it's like 3 T-72s and 2 BMP-1s against, I think, 1 Chieftain and 1 AMX-20B, so I should have won it anyway. But the bailout definitely was, like, annoying for him, I would imagine. Yeah, of course, his T-72 misses. Hell yeah. To get into the sector on the right again, it also doesn't just have infantry in here. I guess it makes sense because infantry is obviously pretty weak in this area. And maybe he's also running out of the, like, RCL one. But this obviously prevents him from actually capturing the sector for a longer amount of time because I can just drive in my command. Duel here going, like, okay-ish. Actually kill off another chieftain, so actually good, but then the T-72s proceed to instantly miss again on the M1. But I mean, he doesn't get a lot of them, so killing off those tanks is actually pretty valuable for me. Some ATGM in here that I can't see, even though I have a recon helicopter here. Or was it like blocked by the forest, I guess? Somehow? It's not a low altitude, so why would it be? Weird. And yeah, so you see another tank coming in here, and that's what I meant before. Like, he has killed a lot of my infantry, but actually, except for like the early game where he killed the 2 T-55s here, and then the horrible push here, but just everything got sideshopped by an invisible Milan 2, he hasn't killed that many tanks yet. So my tank mob is just getting bigger and bigger, killing off another command tank here. I know that there isn't a lot of infantry here, or that I don't really know, but I just assume. T-72 here luckily gets missed by the Milan 2 from the top of the hill there. Stalemate wasn't in position, so didn't spot it. And here again, the Nighthawk doesn't get a kill on the T-72M. So I do actually think that the Nighthawk just doesn't one-shot tanks, I guess. Or he was like giga unlucky 2 times in a row. That would be... like, I would actually feel sorry for him. And yeah, but I mean, no, it didn't kill it again! Like, what is going on? Does the Nighthawk actually just not one-shot tanks anymore? That would be very dumb. Like, please tell me that's not the case. I don't know, like, unironically feel sorry for him that's like it is. Because, why wouldn't it? It's supposed to be the best LGB in the game. What the hell? Okay, whatever. We're gonna look into that after the game. And ask around with the people that know more about the game than I do. But this is very weird. And then obviously, yeah, he got spotted by the coup and died because, I mean, that's the whole point about the Nighthawk, right? Once you get spotted, you die. Trying to move the mod SVD here over the open just to see whether I can get into this forest patch if I'm lucky. If not, then they're kind of fucked because I can't really use the T-72s here. I think they have used, every one of them has used a smoke already. Coup is also out of ammo, and now I'm actually running a little bit low on supplies. So this is definitely a problem with the only having 2 cards of supply built. But the thing is, I'm running low on supplies. I'm not running low on tanks though. Look at this. Yeah, I might have been floating a little bit as well. Calling in 60 72Ms, 2 mortars and 2 mortars. Yeah, I had a few points saved up. There is I think an M1IP in this forest line as well. And like the T-72s here are low, so I don't really want to push in yet. But on the other hand, I mean, not that bad. And here, unfortunately, like the coup gets killed in the Harrier, but it barely got its sidewinder off, and then they obviously hit the double vet Mi-24. The hero Mi-24 finally dies. Rip in piss. Never forget. MTOBs here are also all empty. Well, this one has 5 supply left, but they're basically empty, so should be setting them. Coup here has been reloaded at least, so will be helpful if he tries to go for an attack towards here. But the side here is pretty much locked down very well. So the T-72 M1 here at full HP, Stroud and M, Coup, Conquerors, Great Launcher, 223 mils, Spitzer of and BRM1. So actually pretty good defensive line here. This is a little bit open, but to be fair, he would need to move over the top of the hill here, and then I would... if he does it back here, I actually wouldn't see him, I think. But still, like, that's a risk that I'm willing to take. And Motschützen SVD actually weren't able to get really far, because he does have 1 the 2 M1 IPs back here. He takes him at 0 red, which is interesting. I think it actually isn't the worst idea, considering you don't get a lot of tanks and the M1 IP goes down to 2 availability if you take them with the vet 1. The Mirage HE here does actually get a very good bombing run, because it kills the Strela 10M and the Recon Squad, which is, I mean, especially the Recon Squad here was very important. I guess, is it worth it in the end? I don't know, because he lost it. But at this point, obviously, it's 10 minutes, like, well, 11 minutes left, and he pretty much just needs to keep me away for as long as possible, so I think it's still a decent idea. Link's Helm here, super annoying, calling in the 2 Mirages, the 2 MiG-21s to just strafe it away, because AA would take too long to arrive. It's on the way, but it would just take forever to be in position. The 2 MiG-21s do get a kill, do finally go down against triple manpads. This one here is circling around. I didn't pay attention to it because I was preparing the smoke push into here. And yeah, it does get sniped as well. So yeah, that wasn't good. I could have easily kept this one alive. Pushing forward the T-72s, find the SEK. Milan 2 in there, a little bit annoying. Does get a T-72 killed. But I mean, it's not the worst loss. Forgot about this much in here. Just didn't click it in time. Now I have remembered that I have remembered that it's in there, I guess you can say it like that. Did go for like a fairly broad smoking off because I didn't want to get side-shotted from AGMs like in here or in here. Yeah, now Milan 2 gets spotted and dies like pretty much instantly. Pushing over the ridge here with the tanks. They are still damaged, but it's like whatever. More tanks have come in support as well. More Schützen coming in from the side too. Mirage C goes down after they try to bomb here. The command M1 IP should absolutely go down in front of all of those tanks, and it does. T-72s here do get hit though quite a lot. He does push over the ridge here actually, and the Hamito is targeting the command T-72 and does actually kill it. Which is pretty unfortunate because I don't have any command near. There was a second command already on the way, so that was very good by me. Actually have it already pre-bought, because I was expecting some bullshit to happen, you know, because you always have to expect some bullshit to happen. The push here is actually going very well. Strela 10Ms are also up as support now. The Milan 1 really stands no chance against all the T-72s here. T-72s in the back are now just pushing through. Because I really need to get the control of the zone as quickly as possible and like delete as much as I can. Especially because the command has died and now I am kind of under pressure to get in here as quickly as possible. And well, the thing is, because the command has died, this will give him more time to get in support, like more support to hold the sector actually. And here the T-72M of course gets engine destroyed, so this is out of the fight forever now. This one unfortunately gets missed by the Milan 1. That could have been really annoying to lose that to him, stupid Milan 1. Mortaflera moving in front of the push here to spot for them. Might get a kill on the T-72 M1 here actually. Oh no, it doesn't. So the extra armor of the M1 actually saving it. The MiG-23 came in to bomb the Berlin Rifles here. Would have been nice if, you know, I could have kept the MiG-21 alive. Struggling to finally kill this Berlin Rifles here. Like, yeah, I know I've bitched about it forever as well, but damage output against infantry is still so abysmal. Like, this took so long, even though the Berlin Rifles weren't even in cover and were shot at by a, to be fair, stunned down SPW, but also by a full health mod Schützen that should have a very good damage output with double machine gun and SVDs. Like, why? Please just make DMRs do damage. Take away, like, I don't care, take away like 70% of their suppression, but just give them damage for once. Please, I beg you. Spot an Abrams? Of course I miss. Unfortunate. I would have, I mean, that duel would have not ended well for me either way, but that one shot would have been nice. Now he has a command in the forest patch here, which is to be expected, but good thing I still have my artillery up, so they are put on the target. They have been reloaded once as well. I think as long as you don't have to reload your artillery twice per game, 2 supply cards should be enough. I still have like 1.5 full big supply truck sitting in here. See, this supply truck is also still there. I mean, repairing this T-72 made like no sense at all because it was like, yeah, as I said, it's engine destroyed and the crit just can't get repaired either way. So for example here I also wasted a lot of supplies because repairing crits costs more supplies than just normal repairs. I don't know how much, but it costs more. Oh yeah, the seed comes in, but yeah, it won't kill the T-72. But the good thing for him is that he actually routed the T-72, so it is driving out of the zone. And I only have 6 minutes left, so that's actually not that much. And considering that he still could mount an offensive on another side of the map, that is pretty dangerous actually. And the defensive here is looking pretty good, but if, for example, look here, this side is pretty open. Like, if he still has enough stuff left alive, he could just overwhelm this here. Like, especially if, as I said, if the SPW Conquerors then just like wastes half his ammo into the ground because target priority, it could actually be. This could actually be pretty easily overwhelmed. This here, not so much. Yeah, well, T-72 has finally unloaded again the command tank, capturing the sector completely, which puts me at the +2. New mechanized push coming in here, 2 BMP-1s and T-72. Unfortunately, the mod of Clara here died because it pushed it forward too far and it was out of cover. So not the best thing to do. Just spammed a bunch of pioneers into the smoke here so that he wouldn't be able to move his own infantry into the smoke and just close range kill my command tank. Harrier HE coming in, might get a kill on the T-72M. No, it barely doesn't. Damn. Then gets killed by ODA I still have on the field. Yeah, I mean, overall it's now looking pretty bleak for him. Still has the M1 Abrams here in the back. Look at a pretty good stun on the command tank though. Might get another shot in, yeah. And another hit actually by the T-72 M1. Wow, insane. Did get a turret stuck crit there. Kind of unfortunate. Just moving through this SPWs to also just, first of all, know what's going on, whether he has something in here. And second of all, to find any kills that I could get on some light units. Always nice to have. NMX-30B coming in from the side. Instantly dies. Lemao. And yeah, in this case, it's just, I mean, I'm just keeping up the pressure. If I lose tanks, it's like whatever. I think I still had tanks in reserve. Well, they're kind of coming in right now. You can see now I'm also reinforcing the left-hand side, just in case he tries to sneak around the command and get into the sector, so that I have an infantry squad here that can snipe it, and a command vehicle to contest the sector, so that he doesn't completely stop my tick. Yeah, unfortunately here, lose the duel against the M1s. Once again. Now just moving in the infantry over the open, because again, I don't care, I just need to keep up the pressure as long as possible. Mortars are out of ammo, I would guess. Yes, they are. And AT plane coming in now to maybe get some cheeky snipes on his tanks. M1 command is moving in, and like, he could still get a draw. Like, if he gets my T-72 command somehow killed here and gets his own tank in, like, I don't have like a lot of tanks on the front line right now, because this one is unable to move and this one here is very low, and the T-72 command tank obviously shouldn't be fighting because it's the command tank. But I quickly put my planes, the last 2 I have left, on his command tank, so this should be a safe kill. He also doesn't smoke in time, and I get a kill in his command tank, and that should be pretty much it. And he surrendered. I guess he surrendered because he was pretty much out of commands. I also outrated him quite well by like 3,000 points. So, you know, pretty fair win, I would say. I'm not sure what happened with his Nighthawks. Why they weren't able to kill my T-72s. Like, they weren't stunned as well. I don't think so, at least when they were dropping their bombs. But I mean, hey. It do be like that sometimes. Yeah, early on he really had a good grip on me with the Foxes, and then also the early push with the PSSCB and the Chieftain. But ultimately I was able to push him back, and he was never really able to establish himself in my lines, and he only was able to hold on to my one sector in the open barely. So yeah, map is just not the greatest, what can I say. Coop did get a good kill list in the end, not gonna lie. Like, those planes are pretty expensive. Harrier is like, whatever. But this is only fighter, so it's actually still pretty important to kill them off. I guess this is the Mi-24 that vetted up. didn't get anything particularly expensive. I think it's also just from the damage it did to tanks, maybe, that it vetted up. MiG-21 HE here actually did a pretty good job. Like, this one is also decent. Like, light rifles and javelin should have paid itself off. Nah, maybe not. But it's still a good kill list. This one here definitely paid itself off. This one also didn't. Howitzers didn't do that much this game. The T-55s also were kind of struggling because I wasn't able to get the blob of them going, and the early duo of them died extremely quickly. So that was not optimal usage by me. I mean, this one did get 3 Milan 2s, so that's good. They were also all upvetted. Does he take these Milans upvetted? The Milan 2s? That would be pretty dumb. Like, why would you do that? You don't have that many of them. I mean, literally just one card. So why would you upvet them? And the other one, did it even get a single kill? That howitzer? I don't think so. So yeah, the howitzers overall didn't do that much. Did get a good suppression on his tanks, so they weren't able to get good duels on my tanks. This T-72M performing actually pretty well. Yeah, also the 23 mils weren't really useful this game because there just wasn't a lot of ranges where they were good at. Overall, I kind of feel like they are kind of useful if you're fighting pure infantry divisions, but the thing is, how often are you fighting them? As long as you're not fighting some madman like me that plays TKS or something, or Jeremy that only plays infantry divisions, I don't know, I think I will take them out again. It just feels a bit redundant, honestly. And Eagler getting the Nighthawk, nice. BMP-1 actually sniping a chieftain. Rip. And then, lol, both Nighthawks died to the Eaglers. Nice. But other than that, I don't think there was... What the fuck? Did the Harvest Chieftains die to my fucking BMP-1s? What the hell, man? Okay, never mind. The BMP-1s apparently are the strongest thing in this deck. And Dummerware, to be fair, they aren't the worst. I'm taking the one of the Malyutkas, as you might know, because they're like very cheap. But they still shouldn't be able to kill a chieftain normally. But well, I guess, you know, if it works, it works. I'm not gonna complain. Yeah, this one pushing through towards the end, getting a lot of kills was obviously very, very useful. What the fuck, man? Literally, half his chieftains died to BMP-1s again. Even the command chieftain. What the hell? Okay, this is actually kind of funny. Yeah, as I said, the Foxes early on did very well. Also massive skill issue by me not being able to like click the Spezialaufklärer quickly enough to unload it. Bruh. PSSCB, extremely strong squad if you use them at close range fighting. But I mean, yeah, once they're out of that area of fighting, they are pretty much just stranded. Because they also just only have MP5s, so they can't even fight long range infantry. They physically can't, in the sense that they just can't shoot back. Yeah, like this Milan 2 was very annoying with the side shots, but other than that, and this M1IP actually did get a lot of kills because I was just running everything I had at him and it just wasn't dying. But yeah, look at the Nighthawk, like only 2 more Schützen and then failing to kill the T-72s, really annoying. And that was basically, that is Humvee did get the leader T-72 and another T-72 on top of it. AMX 30 killing a T-72 is also a pretty good kill. Yeah. So nice try by Pasta. But overall, like 7th is still a good division. As I said, the problem is just that there are divisions that do the same, but just better. So I don't know. I hope they will maybe shift around a few units between 9th Panzer and 7th Panzer. Like, I think, for example, giving the Napalm Grad to 7th Panzer would be pretty cool. Why does 9th Panzer need that on top of everything they have already? This seems kind of stupid. So yeah, we will see. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And also hope to see you in the next one, which will be... Well, I don't know which one it will be. But it will be an interesting game or an interesting video either way. So tune in for that one. And until next time, have a beautiful day and bye-bye.